Hi everybody! So I know our meeting tonight's going to look a little different, so I'm going to be sending each bucket a video specific to what you're working on, and then I'm just sending this general message to keep everyone on the same page. So I thought I'd wear a Christmas sweater since we won't be able to see each other on the holidays, but Merry Christmas in advance. Alright, let's get into it. So I just want to start with the expectations. Okay, number one. So communication is essential, especially in clubs such as Enactus that are so big and have so many different details to them. So frequently we've been missing the mark on communicating with each other. So I continuously leave messages in GroupMe and text messaging, and somehow they're just being missed. I'm not sure why that is, but we need to get to the bottom of it and make sure that we are continuously checking those platforms. Because if you miss a detail as one member, it keeps us all behind. Okay, so let's just make sure we're getting on top of that. Second, it is your responsibility as an Enactus member to see what you missed for said meeting. So like, let's say you missed the meeting last week. It's very hard as a team member to keep everyone on the same track at all times, especially if it's not being communicated to us of where you are. So if you missed a meeting, let us know that you're missing the meeting in advance so we can coordinate or schedule a phone call with you after to keep you updated. And secondly, let us know when you missed the meeting afterward so we can update you and give you all the information that you missed. So number three, your bucket is like your mini Enactus family. So as a family member, you gotta talk to each other and let each other know when you're out of groceries, right? So let's say I know this week is gonna be super busy, right? My dog got sick, I have a final. As a family member, I'm gonna let Brooke or Kylie know, hey, I'm not gonna be able to go to the grocery store. I need your help with this part of our bucket, okay? So if you know a week's gonna be super stressful for you, just help each other out and coordinate tasks in advance rather than catching up last minute and then not making the deadline for the week. With that being said, let's talk about number 4. Project objectives must be completed every week. So the deadline that we set, at least with communicating with us, which you would talk to Madison, is 6 p.m. on Thursday. And we do that because we want to know where you are in progress, so that way over the weekend we can help you out or catch you up if things are kind of falling more behind. So let us know by Thursday. That doesn't mean everything has to be completed by Thursday. We just want to know what you're working on, and if you are behind, how you plan on catching up for that weekend. Okay, let's talk about buckets. So as you know, buckets are the 4 main components of our project. And the buckets can now be reached on GroupMe. You'll just see it says topics and you can find it there. So part of your bucket there's different people, different team members. So it is your responsibility to talk amongst yourself. And let's say one week you're very stressful, you're not able to get to Enactus stuff. It is your responsibility as a bucket member within said bucket to coordinate tasks and responsibilities with your members. So let's say I'm in the marketing bucket and I know this week's gonna be super stressful and I'm not able to get to the last item in my bucket. I'm gonna be like, hey Brooke, is there any way you can do this? Help me out here. I'll help you with this, that kind of thing. Oh, and the expectation for buckets is that we continue the dialogue and conversation during Christmas break. So we are a little bit behind on the tasks that we wanted to complete in several bucket categories. So as a bucket member, today I want you to reach out to your other members within your bucket and be like, hey, just so you know, these dates work best for me during the next month. That way you guys can continue the communication and keep tabs on each other. And I will also reach out to you to your buckets in general. So just so we have that dialogue. All right, let's talk about Padlet, my favorite platform. So Padlet is a mass compilation of every single Enactus piece of information since the start of Enactus on campus. So it has everything from blast off ideas to project pictures to what we're working on now, the lionfish. And you can access the lionfish folder all the way to the right. It has everything there. So that will be especially useful for all of your buckets. If you ever need help, always reach out to Madison or myself and we can go from there. Okay, so as you know, we are working with the coffee cart on our tabling. So essentially the coffee cart is gonna give out a special themed lionfish drink on the days that we table on campus. So unfortunately, December 5th, which was gonna be downtown, fell through, but we are working on going on April for that day. That way we can sell our shirts to the public and then get donations from there. So that's a really good thing that we're working on. So going back to tabling, please vote. I'll send out a poll again on what you think the drink should be. With that being said, we are going to give out lionfish stickers to everyone who purchases our drink, and I'm mailing that to Becker. So if you ever see a package that has my name on it, just grab it please and put it in the Enactus closet. But also, this will kind of tie into it, but the shirts, we've hit many unforeseen obstacles with that. So first, we reached out to the company that Enactus had originally selected to make their shirts, and they're the ones who came out with the design that you all saw. But about 3 days into contact with them, they said, oh, we have to drop you. We can't do your project. And I said, why is that? And they said it's because they signed a non-compete with a company that they're under, and basically that company doesn't allow them to do any shirts affiliated with FSC because the main company that oversees them works with FSC Sports and they don't want any conflict of interest there. So then the guy told me that the main company would do the work for us and they were working on it, but then that fell through because some other legal thing. So we're working on getting the shirts done through an online company like Custom Ink or Vistaprint, that kind of thing. I'm also looking into options here. That would be cheaper, so then I could just bring it over when I come down. But stay tuned on that. It is unfortunate. We were looking forward to it, but that leads me into a kind of pivot that we're gonna make. So we can raffle things. So we'll have it where if you buy the drink, and then we add a second part to that on our personal tablings where we have a raffle. Let's say they enter for $3 or $5, then they get the chance to win an Awala water bottle, with a bunch of lionfish, save the ocean kind of stickers, and then a lionfish squishmallow. So pretty cool. I think that's a pretty good start for the raffle. Let me know if you think, oh, maybe it's too niche or maybe it only targets one audience. If so, we can add more items or take things off. But yeah, I'll send out a poll for that as well. So let me know what you think. And then lastly, Enactus always wants to hear your feedback. So whether that's messaging me personally or just if you have an idea for any of the projects, just put it in the group chat. If you don't agree with any of the messages or ideas, you can let us know. We're always wanting to hear your feedback and wanting to do something with it. All right. I hope that answers some of your questions. I will be free to reach all night if you have any questions with your bucket or with anything I just said. Okay. I'll see you next week. Bye.